Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. Oh, there we go. Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC Fight Night, Felder versus Dos Anjos. Post-fight rundown of the main card. See how well I did on my predictions from the pre-fight show, and yeah, so basically I killed it on my picks. To backtrack a bit, so my pre-fight, the main card was different because I called the Eric Anders fight, but that got scrapped after I filmed the video. So I put in the comments or the description on the pre-fight video my updated predictions for the changes to the main card. So yeah, I went 4-1 on this one. So yeah, in the women's strawweight division, we had to kick off the main card. We had Cori McKenna versus Hansen, and yeah, this fight went back and forth. It was a tough, hard-fought fight for both fighters. They're both, 21 or so years old, very talented, well-rounded. McKenna trains at Team Alpha Male. And Hansen was coming off a big win over Jinyu Fry, who was the Invicta atomweight champion, and so she had a big win over her in the UFC, coming off that big win going into this fight. And yeah, this fight was grappling, striking, everything, just a good, well-rounded fight. Cori McKenna won unanimous decision, and looked great, and yeah, I picked her. And then in the catchweight bout at 195, we had Sean Strickland versus Brendan Allen, and I knew that both these fighters are insanely talented. They've both had big wins in the UFC. However, Sean Strickland has the more experience and just more polished version of Brendan Allen. I felt like stylistically they're very similar. They can scrap, but they have good wrestling when it comes to it, if needed. Sean Strickland got it done. TKO punches round 2, and it was just a good fight. Then in the women's strawweight division, we had Ashley Yoder versus Miranda Danger Granger, and this one, Ashley Yoder, I knew she would use her wrestling, which was a smart move. Yeah, Miranda has that amazing Taekwondo background, and I think, as long as she can learn to deal with the grapplers, Miranda will have still a good career ahead of her, despite the loss in this fight. And yeah, Ashley Yoder got a much-needed win. She won unanimous decision, and she almost got a rear naked choke at the end of the second round, I believe it was. And just an impressive performance. And Miranda didn't look that bad on the ground either. I mean, she was transitioning and not just laying there expecting to just have the ref separate them or whatnot. But she actually was going for submissions on the bottom, or trying to really just stay active and avoid any submissions. Ashley Yoder comes from a great training camp. She's trained at Team Quest, and yeah, impressive win for Ashley Yoder. Then, and Miranda, she's a former Cage Fury fighting championship champ, so it's a big win for Ashley Yoder. Then in a catchweight belt at 172.5, we had Chaos Williams versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. And this was Chaos Williams getting a first round knockout, round 1 KO punch, amazing. And Chaos is the real deal. And Abdul Razak Alhassan, he has knockout power himself, and so I knew there was going to be a knockout here. Oh yeah, in case I missed it, Ashley Yoder won unanimous decision over Miranda Granger. But anyways, yeah, Chaos Williams, yeah, just impressive win. Then in the lightweight division, the main event, we had Paul Felder versus Rafael dos Anjos, and this is the only fight on the card I got wrong. I don't understand why a judge had Paul Felder winning the, he gave the fight to Paul Felder. I had it clean, at least 3 or 4 rounds for Rafael dos Anjos, cleanly with the grappling, with the takedowns. Paul did land some good head strikes though. And yeah, so this is a split decision win for Rafael dos Anjos, and he's back in lightweight division over a big, the number 7 ranked Paul Felder. So basically, dos Anjos is back in the title mix in lightweight division after all this time of being at welterweight, which is pretty impressive. And yeah, I can't wait to see what dos Anjos goes for next. I mean, maybe the winner of Poirier versus Conor. That might be interesting. And it's good to see Paul Felder back after he was contemplating retirement. And I think Paul Felder still has a lot to offer the lightweight division. And I think he will look back at this fight and learn from this loss and become that much better a fighter. And he's really good at breaking down tapes and being a good commentator for the UFC. So I can't wait to see more of both these guys. But yeah, former UFC lightweight champ Rafael dos Anjos wins due to the takedowns and strikes, and just outpointed Paul Felder and wins split decision win over Paul Felder. And yeah, Rafael dos Anjos is the real deal and is back. And that wraps up my post-fight show. Stay tuned for my pre-fight show in the coming days. UFC 254 Figueiredo versus Perez for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. And until then, see ya.